This is for you. We gotta get a shot before you start. Ooh, 40 ounce ain't spilling the tea.
Oh.
That's not how you do it.
Before you spill the tea.
Thanks for coming.
No problem.
I'm gonna cheers to that.
Oof.
You won't, which is a good thing. Take that like a boss.
Free my music.
Hello everyone, welcome to an exciting edition of Jeffrey Show Live. I'm your host, Jeffrey Taylor. Woo! And on tonight's edition of Jeffrey Show Live, we're shifting gears a little bit. We're going into the world of reality, a little bit different from professional wrestling, because you don't wrestle, right?
I don't. At least not if you don't push me. I ain't saying that I'm a professional.
Oh, okay. I did see the live when you said
I can't dive into some stuff.
if you need it. In addition to that, you don't do music, do you? Because everyone on reality TV makes a beat or drop a track or something these days, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen, a lot of them that are doing this.
I'm coming.
Listen, this must be something new. I have never seen none of these people hum. I've never seen them rap. Listen, this must be all new. That's all I'm gonna say. Must be new.
I have the one and only Skye with me. Skye, an infamous question from your show that you've been on in the past. What do you do?
What do? I do a lot of things. What I will say is that I started off managing. It wasn't because I had any experience in it. When I graduated high school, I went to technical school.
Okay.
I took a business outline. And so I've always had like an insight for business. My best friend and brother, Nico, landed a spot on a reality show because his baby mom was filming Little Women Atlanta. And it just so happens that maybe close to 7 or 8 months prior to him moving to Atlanta, I had already transitioned here.
Okay.
I was living here and he was coming to film for the show. And I started shopping around for a manager for him because there were a lot of opportunities and offers that he was getting for
I can
the
imagine.
storyline. And no one seemed like they were the right fit, or no one seemed like that they were.
That's
really
how you
invested.
felt.
Well, no, it wasn't how I felt.
Okay.
But, I guess that he and we kind of go off vibes. You know, Nico and I are a lot alike in a lot of ways.
Okay.
You know, so I was really trying to shop around to get him the best fit, someone who was really going to be Team Nico, who was going to really be supportive and taking him to the next level. And when it came time to really do the work, I think that he and I have always made a good team.
Okay.
You know, so when it came to like his videos, makeup, anything, I've always been the big brother to kind of like, well, let's just get it done. Didn't matter who was there, didn't matter who wanted to do it. I'm always a supportive friend that's like, look, if you got a dream, like, look, let's just get it done. We can't cry over spilled milk, and we can't talk about who else is not on board or who else don't see the vision. Let's create our own vision. And so that's how I end up becoming the manager. So yeah.
I like it. There's two things that I want to hit on from what you just shared. Where did you transition from?
I transitioned from Richmond, Virginia.
Because if they're anything like me, I always thought that she was Atlanta native. You don't think that you give Atlanta vibes or...
No.
So that whole boxing is Richmond?
It is.
Okay.
You know, to be in Virginia is like... Virginia, I always say, is a place like if you ever want to go and settle down, if you ever want to retire, it's a great place to just kind of to just kind of be, I want to say, to just kind of chill.
Okay.
You know, if you're a person you just want to have a chill vibe, I don't think that it's a place that if you ever really want to be career driven.
Okay.
If you really want to be a singer, you want to be a dancer, you want to be an actor, Richmond, Virginia is not the place to be. So I knew, like, during my times of like vacationing here, I knew that I was going to transition to Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah.
Nice. I just got another question from that vacation moment, but I must ask, you like to help other people with dreams.
I do.
What's your dream, Skye? What do you want to accomplish?
Honestly, believe it or not, my dream is to really be a service to people. I feel like whether it's me, quote unquote, ministering, as I always like to call it, I've always used my platform to give advice. I've always been honest and transparent. I just knew that I wanted to be the very best to me that I could possibly be. And it wasn't degrading for me to ever decide that I want to help someone, you know, or that I want to work for someone, which is how the celebrity personal assistant came about.
Okay.
I was a personal assistant maybe 2 years prior to my moving here.
Okay.
I worked for a couple, and it was Shiloh and Keela Jones back in Richmond, Virginia. They owned 3 businesses. They owned a nonprofit, they owned a nightclub, and they owned a mental health.
Nice.
And I stayed with them for about 2 years,
Okay.
working for them. And that was what really shaped me to be a personal assistant, because I knew nothing about being a personal assistant as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just kind of thinking outside the box, having to be like fast on my feet, having to make decisions that I didn't know was going to be the best decisions for these individuals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're so picky. So you just got to be a person that you just kind of got to get it done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that kind of shaped and molded me for the person that you kind of see today.
I like that. I like that a lot. You don't hear that too often. I must admit, I got another question from that ministering term. What's your background with the church? How do you feel about church? Because it's kind of like when you hear about servicing and ministering, the first thing that goes to my mind is the church. Do you have a strong church background?
I do. The crazy part about it is
Mm-hmm.
that my grandfather, who passed away, was a pastor. My uncle on my mom's side is a deacon.
Okay.
I
Deacon
grew up-
Skye.
No.
Okay.
My ministry is way too different.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, like my uncle, he's a deacon, and my siblings and I, my sister, my cousins, all of us kind of grew up in the church, singing, participating in church. I'm talking about Bible study. I'm talking about, you know, the whole nine, everything that you can think about as far as ministry is concerned. We were doing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I want to go back to those visits to Atlanta. Did you ever used to come to the Prize back then? I think it used to be lit.
No,
Then.
you know the crazy part about it, I've never done a Pride until I actually moved here.
Really?
Until I actually moved here, I never did Pride, and it wasn't because I had something against it. I just think that I've always been like an introvert. That those things never really interest me. You know what I mean?
I can imagine.
So, yeah.
I can imagine. From the Pride that you have experienced, I want to drop some knowledge for the people that may be doing their first Pride this year. Do you have 3 tips that you can give someone that's going into their very first Pride? Because now Pride is the big thing. I know a lot of my peers are going to New York at the end of this month for World Pride, if I'm not mistaken. So from the one that you've experienced, do you have 3 tips that you can give?
Absolutely.
They may be even general, but
Absolutely.
for Pride.
Pack lots of condoms. Make sure that you don't leave your drinks with strangers. And definitely, if you're going to be participating in any extracurricular activities and hanging out over people's homes and stuff like that, please check all crevices of cracks and windows and closets and stuff for cameras.
I thought you said check for crack. I was like, what?
With that too.
Wait, what? What?
With that too.
Are you
That would be
kidding
number
me?
4. So yeah.
Okay, that was some good advice.
Good advice.
That
Good
was some
advice.
good
You
advice.
don't want to end up on Twitter. Come tomorrow.
That's the thing now.
It is.
I actually at the DC Pride, I was actually anticipating the videos. I was like, what are they gonna? I'm not gonna lie, I was anticipating. I was like, where the videos? It's been 3 days. Where the
Right.
videos at?
Put 'em out.
Nevertheless, we talked a little bit off camera about this, but do you have an account?
On Twitter?
No,
On
the
what?
account.
The OnlyFans. No, I do not have an OnlyFans. But you know what? Like, I feel like I'm not like a judgmental person. If that's your thing,
Me neither.
You know what I'm saying? I'll watch. I'll support.
Okay.
You know, it just depends on how much you're expecting me to support. It
I
just
think
depends on
that's
what
another thing.
what the monthly subscription is.
I think that's another thing.
It
There's people out there that's ashamed that they're subscribed. If you got it, that's your thing.
No, hell, I feel like we're all
Yeah.
human. So I feel like if you're watching,
You'd be like, I
porn-
never bought one. I don't do that. I feel like if you
Listen,
do,
I remember when I was a kid, I used to literally sneak and watch XTube. I never knew anything about XTube. If you remember, XTube was
I
like
did.
the biggest thing like back in
I
the
did.
day. So that was like my first insight into like porn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because porn, like, I come from, the videotape era. You got to pop it in the VCR, and, you got to make sure you turn the volume down real low so your mama don't wake up and know that you've been in the porn stash. That was kind of like my era. If you're an 80s baby, you know about the VHS. Okay? That's the era that I came from.
I think that they upload some of them older VHS ones on like the Papa
think
Shangos
so?
and all those back in the day. I think they convert them to DVD, but nevertheless, that wasn't mine.
that wasn't
that wasn't my time. I was LimeWire downloading them onto my iPod.
I remember LimeWire. The connection was always. It never mattered where you were. The connection was horrible.
Horrible. To be honest, I want to switch gears a little bit and get off that subject because that lasted a little bit longer than I want to because I didn't even think that you talked about things.
I did. People have to get to know me. I
didn't
think off limit with Skye.
I didn't think that you used to do that. So I've been dying to tell this off camera for a minute, but I want to save it. So me and Skye actually first met last year around this time on my birthday. I attended Cameron's free cancer. He's free of cancer event. I don't know if you remember that. That was all the way, if I'm not mistaken, Cobb County, which is so far from here. So I was kind of like, I just want to support. I want to be there. And he was kind of like the cast was going to be there. And that's when I was physically introduced to a lot of the cast, specifically you as well. And I don't know if you remember it. I know you remember the event, but I shook your hand and I was thinking like, I was going to know me. I was going to remember. And you was actually very, I wouldn't say standoffish, but I don't want to make it seem like it's a negative term, but you were to yourself with people you don't know. So that's how you was with me. It was kind of like you didn't know me. Hey, go back to your to the people you knew.
You know, like if I'm ever in an environment where I'm meeting people, one, I never like to assume who a person is, and so like I'm very like hey, how are you? Like I always try to keep it like hey, how are you, type thing. Right. If you engage me in conversation, because I'm really shy, believe it or not, and I know it doesn't seem like it. I am like seriously, guys. If you meet me in person, even when I meet fans, did you just scratch? You know,
did you just call me a fan?
No, I said even when I meet fans, I'm super, super shy. When people say, "Oh my God, like I love you," I go to the oh my God. Like
seriously, when I emailed you about this, I was shocked at your response. I was like, why is he sending this? Like,
what do you mean?
No, like I told you before, I was kind of like, why is he saying like
why am I so humble?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I feel like granted there have been a lot of people that have been introduced to the show. There have been a lot of people that have supported the show. But I feel like every opportunity, whether it's from an interview or whether it's meeting a person in the mall, at a restaurant, whatever, every opportunity, in my honest opinion, is another opportunity and a blessing that God has given. So I feel like for me, personally, for me to never acknowledge and to say, you know what, I appreciate the opportunity.
The minister is hopping out.
No,
you better...
seriously, because I think a lot of people take it for granted. Like, I never want to be one of those people who got really, really big and forget about the people who gave me my first opportunity, whether it was my first interview, whether it was my first, reality show, or just whatever it may be. I never want to forget about the people who were really down to support or wanting to hear my story or my testimony. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I really am humble. You know what I mean?
Facts. I want to piggyback off of what you said to the most recent time that I saw you, which led to where we are now because you accepted my Facebook request after I saw you at the Chasing Atlanta Season 3 premiere. Okay. And you exactly said what you just said. Now is I am coming to support the platform that gave me my chance. Why wouldn't I be there? And I saw you along with some of the other rituals. I actually wrote with Lyric to the show. Okay. We was Uber sharing. So it's kind of like, you're supporting Lyric. Yeah, it was kind of, that was my humbling beginnings and my starting. And then when I saw you at the actual event, you were the same way. When I saw Akeem, he was the same way. So it was kind of like...
The crazy part, Akeem and I rode together. We rode together.
What?
I know.
I didn't drink.
Listen, no, seriously. I picked him up. We actually rode to the premiere collectively together. And I think that it wasn't a thing that we were trying to, because, no cameras were there. But we did it.
Are you surprised of my reaction right now? The last time I saw...
The last time you probably saw...
Yeah, are you like... Okay, you acting like I shouldn't have this reaction.
I would say this. Akeem and I have come a long way. And I would say that we've come a long way, honestly, because his acknowledgement of a lot of things that he did on this season. And I get it that certain people were trying to make a good show. But I believe that even if you're playing a role, I don't come to set playing a role. I come to set being who I am. So when you see me in scenes, I respond to certain situations authentically.
Right.
That's the only way I know how to be. I'm either going to like you or I don't. I'm either going to get you together or I'm not. I'm either going to be quiet or I'm going to be rowdy. It depends. What you give me will determine what I give you in return. I'm either going to be a blessing or a curse. And how you treat me will determine how I will treat you.
I want to say this. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but one of my favorite scenes from you in the history of Chasing Atlanta, as we really about to go into there, is with Akeem at this event that you guys were at. I think Cameron was doing some fashion. That was season 2.
Yeah.
And they edited and chopped so much that I really don't know what really happened, but all I know is that was probably one of my favorite scenes from you that stands out. I would probably have to rewatch season 1, but season 2 was fresh off of you and Akeem, and that's why I'm still shocked because that was crazy, man.
It was.
But you managed to top it on season 3.
Well, how?
With the Cameron scene.
Oh, God.
And, you know, honestly, I wouldn't say I'm shocked at it happening per se, but I can imagine others are because they loved you guys together. I'm not shocked, but at the same time, that's now my new favorite moment of you. The things that you were saying, and I think that I can show you the text messages when we stopped, but I remember texting my friend. It was kind of like, he didn't have to say, I'm not a Montel, I'm not an Eric, I'm not a... It was just so funny because it's kind of like you're naming people from the past. So,
Okay,
but it just...
So let me chime in on that.
Because I was kind of like, stop naming everybody.
Okay. You know, the crazy part about that was it was no disrespect to the other people that I had named. And so let me be very, very clear. When I said their names, I was specifically talking about how his interactions with them and their interactions with him. And so me setting the tone of saying, I'm not a Montel, I'm not a Devon, you know, it wasn't like I could beat everybody's ass. It was more of a, you will not play the games with me that you played with the rest of everybody else in that moment. You know, because I wanted to be very, very clear. And even with my having that dialect with him and having that sparring with him, it was still out of love. It was out of love to say, you don't get to play with me like that. You know what I mean? Like, we could talk about a lot of different things, and there are a lot of things I felt like he had said and had done that I kind of gave passes to based off of saying, that's just who Cameron is. And I have to love my friend enough to accept that that's who he is. Right. But every now and again, I do believe that sometimes you got to pull your friend's coattail. And pulling his coattail in that moment wasn't enough for me. I felt like he needed an ass spanking at that time. And that's just a verbal ass spanking. And that's what it was. I needed him to understand this is beyond reality TV. This is beyond the cameras. If we are truly on because a lot of times I believe that when we're on this platform, they only want to share specific parts. I've known in the past that there have been people a part of this cast that have called production saying, hey, I don't want to appear this way. I only want to share this part of this conversation. You know, you'll never hear about Skye ever calling production saying, I don't want to look a certain type of way, or I don't want people to see me in a certain type of way. If it's put out there, what you see is what you get. You either like it or you don't. And I'm either going to have the acknowledgement to say, you know what, maybe I went a little bit too far, or maybe this personally wasn't right or morally right, whatever the case may be, or you know what, I stand by what I said and what I did and I own it. One of the two. There's never going to be a gray area when it comes to Skye. What you see is what you get. That's why I feel like, not to say that I feel like I'm the realest, it's hard to edit around me. It's so hard to make me look crazy. If in fact I look crazy, it's because of something that I did. Like the moment with Akeem, I felt like I never really wanted that moment to happen. It wasn't because of alcohol. It was because I felt like in that moment you tried my friend, that being Montel, and the relationship that we had. And I felt like him trying me. If you remember that season, it stated once I got pulled away or ushered away, by my best friend Roman. He followed me to the bathroom because I went to the bathroom.
I actually met him. He's a really nice person.
To have a cool down.
Really nice person.
And he came in wanting to know. Like, from the time that I got there, he was antagonizing. And I was already going through a lot. And it's not to excuse my actions. I was already going through a lot. And I had to jump back into filming because I signed a contract. Contractually, I was obligated to film. So because I signed a contract, coming back into that situation and having someone feeling comfortable to say or do whatever they wanted to do because of ratings or because of the show or because I'm trying to make a good show, I felt like, fuck this show. Not fuck the producers, because I was appreciative of the platform, but fuck this show. And you trying to make a good show. Like, you don't get to play with
it. Made a good show. I do want to say that. It made a good show.
It did. But there are consequences for ever trying to play Skye. And that's what I tell people. You know, you have to consider you don't know what a person's background is. You don't know what they're going through at this particular time. So for you to do things without the consent of that individual to play or to joke or to even do things underhandedly that you think will make a good show, you know, and think that once the camera's out, we're still supposed to be good. You don't get to play with me like that.
Right.
And so I let you know. I feel like I'm the person that I say out loud what probably people are thinking. I'm the person that will keep you in line if you get out of pocket with me. I'm not saying specifically across the board as it relates to the show, but with me. You get out of pocket with me. I'm never
All show, on show. Either
show,
or.
on show.
All around.
If you want to catch a fade, we can catch a fade. Either we're going to talk like men or we're going to fight like niggas. And I'm okay with either or. I really am. I'm okay with either or. It doesn't mean that I could beat everybody's ass because I cannot. But what I will say is that it's only one way to find out. I'll say that.
So, you was on a very popular platform that we haven't really went in on it yet, but if I'm not mistaken, it's called Chasing Reality. It's the official LLC.
It's the brand.
And that Gardini doesn't own that. It's all...
The crazy part is I don't know. I don't know whether Gardini still has ownership rights to it. Gardini is messy, but I kind of love his messiness. He's grown on me. I love his messiness.
Little bit, but nevertheless, he was on the inaugural season of season 1 of Chasing Atlanta that I fell in love with, and that I put so many people on. And when I say that, I probably like 20 people, which is still a lot in my opinion. Yeah. But I remember when I first saw the Catfish episode, and that's what had me hooked. I was kind of like, bro, y'all need to watch this, I swear. And that you was also a unique part of the show because you always was going off in my...
Oh, so I was a ratchet portion.
You was always going off.
Ratchet like, TV.
You won't play with these other... That's been you.
Yeah,
and
it's been my ministry.
You wasn't an official member on the 3rd season, unfortunately, and it hurt a lot of people to lose so many originals that we wanted to see continue. And I think that it showed that we miss you, and I'm going to include myself in this. When you came back, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, against Cameron, and you had moments with Oliver and Q and some fantasy, I don't say matchups, but some fantasy link-ups that we wanted you to be a part of. As I don't know how you feel about him personally, but I feel like Oliver is a fan favorite this season. So to see you interact with him, it was kind of like... I feel like you was a fan favorite your season, so to have those crawls, it was just really entertaining. But this is what I will say, and I just want to hear how you feel about it at this present moment because things change. The reunion has been filmed. I'm going to watch it after this, to be honest. But... you said that you told Oliver not to say anything shady in the confessional.
I did.
So that's what I'm leading to, is that you said that you didn't want him to say anything, and I watched the show, and he, in my opinion, I know shade. I don't know about y'all, but I know shade. And
I know shade too.
that was shade in the confessionals.
I
had fun laughing at it, don't get me wrong, but it was shade.
Well, listen, I didn't find it funny, and the reason that I did not find it I feel there's a fine line between fun shade and disrespect. And I felt like what he gave was disrespect. And, there were people who totally agreed with me, and there were people who, I guess, who were fans of his. And it's never to negate the fact that he is a fan favorite. Oliver came into the situation and he did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to soar. He was supposed to make a name for himself. He was supposed to push his brand by any means necessary. But I felt what was unnecessary was the takedown and the digs that he took amongst the entire... It wasn't just me. It was amongst everybody this season. I always feel like if you're going to be on reality TV, then own your truth and be invested in your truth. And I didn't feel like he was invested in his truth. Oliver and I knew that we were going to meet up. And when I tell this story, I like to be very transparent. Oliver knew that he and I was going to meet up. Devon and I made a plan that we were supposed to come back this season to address, the whole Oliver situation. I was only supposed to be the supportive friend. Like, listen, if bitches get out of pocket, you need me to snatch a person up by their lace front, bitch, I'm here for you. That's kind of what that was. But I felt like, my friend needed to address the situation because he was no longer here. And I felt like with him, if you are this phenomenal rapper which he has talent. Why come on and to make your storyline out to be about somebody else who's no longer here, who's not filming, who's not a part of the season? The focal point should have been solely on you, what you do, what you have going on. And he made it a part of this season. And then halfway through it was like, well, I don't want to talk about it. You know, I don't want people asking me about, you know what I mean? Well, you brought it on this platform, so you made it fair game to talk about. You knew that Devon was going to probably, it was going to strike a nerve with him. You knew me being his friend, it was probably going to strike a nerve with me because people know how Devon and I roll. You knew that I was going to defend my friend. And Devon and I planned to come back. Devon backed out midway. I still chose to go through with it. And he knew that we were going to meet up. I stated what I stated to him. We spoke literally before we ever filmed that scene. I felt like if you didn't want to film with me or you had a problem with me asking anything about it, why not just say at the beginning before you Ubered your ass all the way to the actual scene? Why not just say, you know what, Skye, I don't want to talk about it, or tell production, you know what, I don't want to film him. I don't want to keep dragging this situation out. I don't want to film this situation. You know what I mean? I'm over it. It's not a part of my life. Have that same energy. What I do is I hold people accountable. If you have the same energy off camera, have that same energy on camera. If you have that energy on camera, have that same energy off camera. Right. I've always had the same energy across the board. If I fuck with you in real life, you know, on camera, right, you know what I mean, I'm going to fuck with you off camera. Right. And I didn't feel like he gave that. So when we sat down and we had the conversation, I was being genuine. Now keep in mind, I knew that he was lying the entire time. I knew that he was lying because I had receipts in my phone in regards to him calling Devon or hitting Devon up over Facebook saying, cousin, you know, I never wanted to push this storyline. Production is trying to get me to push this storyline. I don't want to do it. You know, he was naming names from Gardini to Reese G and to all of these entities, right, that was pushing the storyline. And what I always stand in, firm on is that nobody in production can force you to do anything that you want to do. I cannot tell you how many times things have landed in my lap that people maybe have wanted me to talk about that I've always declined. You know what I'm saying? So when they say production made me or production is a part of this, I always defend them because I feel like production has nothing to do with the things that you want to talk about.
Because you've experienced it.
Because you've experienced it. You can choose to talk about it or not talk about it. It's solely on you. They're only the cameramen. They're only the editors. They're only the visionary for what we put out. So when you say that people are making me or people forcing me or they did this or they edited me to look a certain way, well, bitch, if it never came out of your mouth, it would have never been edited to appear that way. And that's what my issue was with him. I don't like him.
As of today.
As of today.
This is June 12th.
Yes, I don't like him. I do think that he is a fraud. I do think that he is a clout chaser. I do think that he is an opportunist. I do think that he is ugly. I think that he is talented in regards to his gift in music. But aside from that...
I respect you for saying that.
I have nothing for Oliver Fish. Nothing.
That's his name for you.
Oliver Fish. Because I feel like with him, every situation is a fishy situation. So Oliver Fish. I feel like he came on this show with this Morticia look, presence, you know what I mean? Trying to read and trying to be fake. And when I sat down with him, I had a genuine conversation in spite of me knowing the truth. And I specifically said to him, when the camera stopped rolling, I said to him, listen, I know what you're trying to do to make a good show. I know you've had some experiences with the other guys. The only thing I ask you is don't shade me. Like, if you have a certain
I saw that in your live.
Right. If you have a certain feeling about me, tell me this is how you feel. And he kind of gave me, oh my God, Skye, you and I are cool. I would never do that. When he went into his confessionals and you tried to act like you didn't know who I was, for a whole year, this man was liking my thirst trap videos. You were inboxing me. You were sending me your music. You were trying to get on the show. All of the things that opportunists do. So for you to say Skye Valentine, what's that bitch name? You clearly know what my name is because you definitely was trying to eat my ass. You was definitely trying to suck a dick or two. I'm not saying mine, but you were definitely in my inbox. So my whole thing was, you know exactly who I am. Why get on this platform and ever try to front? That is what I do not respect. Okay? So other people on this platform, they may let it slide. I'm not the kind of person you ever want to...
You stated that before as well.
Yeah, I'm not the bitch that you want to try. Yes. The crazy part was I saw him at the reunion. Okay.
You was at the reunion.
Yes, he had his little Lane Bryant outfit on. Was it Bryant Lane or Lane Bryant? Whatever. He had that little outfit on, and he was speaking to everybody else. They had an intermission, and he actually came and he wrapped his arms around me as though we were two missionaries from Bible study who hadn't seen each other in a while. Like I was a returning sister that he had not seen, and he wrapped his arms around me, and the shit threw me for a loop because
How do you respond to something like
what the fuck you mean? I threw his arms up off me. Like,
really?
Bitch, I'll get to you in a minute when I get on
Yeah,
stage.
you give me Caucasian vibes that you would just go along with it,
Listen.
and I guess that's fake if you.
It's very fake.
If you
because
continued and didn't lock, I guess that is fake if you didn't do that.
No, listen to me. I keep the same energy across the board, which is why I expect people to keep the same energy.
But I know
to me.
people saw you do that.
Yeah, of course they did. Why would you speak to a person that you don't even know? You didn't recognize me on the show, so bitch, you should keep the same energy across the board. Now I don't know who you are, okay? He is a generic kid in play. That's how I feel about him. He is a generic, like for the
No,
fact
you
for
know, C.S.
him
Madison
to
and fucking
listen,
Doniva.
I don't care anything about them, okay? And it's not to dismiss them. What they have done is a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But because he edits their videos or whatever, I don't feel like I should have to respect him. I don't.
Because of the things that he's done to you.
The things that he's done to people abroad.
Okay.
Like, I just feel like he's not a real, genuine individual. And he tries to come off. The crazy part was he tried to hire a friend of mine's. That's what I did not like. He tried to hire a friend of mine's to be his bodyguard for the reunion. Okay? And when he found out that that friend knew me, okay, you wanted to push the issue of him having a conversation with me in regards to, okay, like, I don't have an issue with Skye. I don't understand why Skye is upset with me. You know, you played this whole role that I'm trying to make a good show. And my whole thing is, if that's what you were trying to do, then tell the world that that's what you were trying to do. Own who you are. It's a reality TV for a reason. You're not being real. And that is what I do not respect. Okay? And so, as long as we are on this platform, as long as, whether I come back for a season 4, which we do not know, okay? As long as we are on this platform, I will continue to give him that kind of grief. I will never know him as anything other than Oliver Fish, okay? In my book, that big ass chalk stain that he has in the middle of his fucking, what is that, a fade? I don't know if it's a fade or if it's a lace front or if he's scared. I don't know what it is. But what I will say, okay, is that I do not respect him as an individual. And because for the fact that we were filming a reality show and we were trying to be able to resolve our issues and to have professional banter without getting out of our seats, you do not know the restraint that it took from me when he put his arms around me and said, "Oh my God, hey Skye." You know, like we are sisters who hadn't seen each other for a minute. Like, why would you put you don't know me, remember? When he said, I'm just trying to keep it cute, you trying to keep it cute for who? You lost that battle a long time. You lost that motherfucking battle at birth. So for you to ever feel like you trying to keep it cute with me, no ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. So no, I do not like him moving forward. He's never going to be a person that's going to be in my personal space. I don't give a fuck about what he does for TV. Okay? Keep rapping. You know, I somebody supports it. Somebody supports it. He's not a friend of mine. He's not somebody that I ever want to have a conversation with. And in fact, I'm willing to have someone sponsor us. I want to really beat the shit out of him because I feel like he needs that kind of response, in my honest opinion.
So we're going to wrap things up here with Skye, who's been really telling us a lot about yourself. I found out the shit from Richmond. I found out how you got into your managerial services. What's your dreams in a sense, like servicing? I must admit I didn't expect that, but I could definitely see it now. Even on your live, like showing off my Jeffrey Show Live, like I definitely want to cut you at 20%.
Please. I want cash.
We really didn't talk about it too much on my show necessarily, but you're very sexual, to be honest. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, you be having sex.
Most people do, friend.
I mean, on the show, it didn't seem like he was. It seemed like he was.
It
It seemed like he was like built up. Like, Skye needs to get laid or like at least and stop being so tense. Like, so that vein wouldn't come up. Maybe you just need some.
No, that ain't the case.
I don't know.
People stop being disrespectful.
That's what that
It'll
is.
be okay.
Oh my
But
God.
you know what? I have fun. Oh, I enjoy myself occasionally.
Would you
Very
be
rare.
Would you be open to returning to a season 4
I
of
would.
Chasing Atlanta?
I would.
I like that. I think that everybody else would like that. So the door is open.
The door is
not-
definitely open.
The do-
Only because you know what? Here's the thing. I feel like my run on this show has been both rewarding. I've had moments where I feel like I've had like a little bit of backlash. I think that becomes a part of being what we consider a public figure.
Right.
So yeah, I'm always open to filming with anybody, whether I like you, whether I don't like you.
It's a
I
part of
feel
the
like
contract. Is what you signed up
It's
for.
what you sign up for.
It's what you
And
signed up for.
I feel like, honestly speaking, with Chasing Atlanta, I feel like they kind of know what situations to put me in. They know what's going to get the best response. They know what's going to get me going. They all know my personality. Shouts out to Chasing Atlanta. Dude, let me say that.
I love Chasing Atlanta.
So yeah, they kind of know who Skye is. They have me pegged. So with that being said, I think there's definitely an opportunity for me to return for season 4.
So I guess before I end this interview, being such a huge Chasing Atlanta fan, literally I am, I just want to know what your relations are with a few people beforehand and God. It doesn't need to be nothing deep. I guess you can just say good or not. Let's just make it as plain as that. Good if they're good, not good if they're not. Just we're gonna go down. My boy Cameron.
I would say that we're okay. We're still trying to figure it out.
Look at you creating your own rules.
No, seriously, we're working towards getting into it. Cameron honestly is a real friend. I'll say that.
I love that.
He's a genuine friend.
I love that so much.
I feel like regardless of what we go through, I feel like on reality TV, friendships should be. There will be some controversy in regards to friendship. So the door is always open for my friends, my real genuine friends. The door is always open. So yeah, we're working towards getting to the right place. Yeah.
Me and my friends are always wondering, are you and Lauren England good or not good?
We do not have a relationship, but what I will say is that I respect Lauren. I respect the hustle. I respect the grind. I believe that Lauren is one of those people who, by any means necessary, will do what she has to do to make sure that she retains the bag. And I have to respect that.
Right.
She's the most, honestly, and there's no shade to anybody on this cast, she is the most hardworking individual that I know. And so I respect the hustle.
Nice,
I do.
nice. Moving along, even though you're popular and getting these phone calls in the back right there, Mr. Manager, Montel.
Montel's my pud. I love Montel.
Okay, just
my
making
friend.
sure. The people want to know.
Yes.
You named out his name at that table scene. We
Yes.
just need to know.
Yes, Montel's my
I'm not no
pud.
Montel. I'm not no.
No, listen. Montel and I are genuinely friends.
I love it.
I feel like he's the person who's one of the people who knows me inside and out.
Mhm.
Vice versa. The love that I have for Montel goes beyond the cameras.
Right.
You know, the respect that I have for him goes beyond the cameras.
Right. There's a few people that you've kind of spoke about during this video. Gardini. It seems like you guys are.
Gardini and I are cool. Gardini is like, you
Yes.
know, the crazy part about it is that Gardini and I are not friends, but we're like frenemies. It's like when we're good, we're good. But like we kind of like when we do interviews, we throw shade. You know,
That's
Gardini-
real?
Yeah. Gardini is a person that I
Because I remember Gardini bring up Nico, but that's a whole nother.
I agree.
That's a whole nother thing. Like
but
I said,
you
we gotta
know,
get you back.
Gardini is a person that I respect because Gardini really knows how to. He knows how to keep the drama going. I don't want to say the drama going because I don't want to make it seem like he's a messy individual. I feel like he understands reality TV. He's authentic to who he is, and for that I respect that. So like I actually love Gardini.
I like
do.
that. I like
do.
that. Q.
I love Q.
That's good.
You know, Q and I are really in a good space.
That's good.
I think the Q. I wish that this is what we could have gotten the opportunity to do on second season.
Same.
The opportunity was not as available
Same.
to us there as it is now. But I love Q. I love Q.
Same. You mentioned a little bit earlier, but Akeem.
Akeem and I are actually cool. We're in a great space. We're in a great
That's
space.
good.
I love Akeem as well.
That's good.
Yes.
And you still popular getting these calls going on.
I know.
But I guess the final person, Oliver Twist.
Oliver Fish. There's nothing. Nothing that I would.
Doors closed?
It's bolted. There's nothing that I wish to do with him, ever. The crazy part about it is if I came back for a season 4 and he was there, I could still film with him, because I understand business. But as far as building a friendship with him, he's probably the most despised individual for me. So yeah, I don't wish to have a friendship with him. I don't wish to do anything with him. Yeah, nothing for me.
Where can people follow you on social media? On that note,
It's Facebook, Skye Valentine, SKYE, Valentine, just like the holiday. Instagram, it is SKYE_IS_KIII, okay? So that's 2 I's, NG. So Skye is king, okay?
maybe the most popular that I'm getting from you is Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't accept everybody friend requests.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on Facebook, but I'm not
So
on Facebook.
Instagram and YouTube would be the ones that I would probably suggest for
Yes,
you.
on Skye Valentine on YouTube as well. I am going to be coming with my YouTube page.
I could definitely see that
so
for
that
you.
I'm going to be doing a lot of commentary on there.
I could see you doing that.
So, yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I know I subscribed recently, so I'm excited. Once I
Did
saw
you?
that live that you did, I was gonna I need
What
to
live?
The one where you was in the car and you were just saying, I may have arch eyebrows, I may do, but
I may wear makeup. I may arch my back occasionally.
Right,
Yeah.
but that was classic, man.
It was. I feel like I have the best one-liners. I do.
Okay.
You're on payroll. Let's be clear. Those things. I'm true and authentic to who I am.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
That's the third time, so it may be emergency. So let's wrap this thing up. So you can handle business, but I'm glad that people are seeing how popular and how busy you are in the background here on tonight's show. And I definitely want you back in the future.
Thank you. I will definitely be back. I will definitely come back to the Jeffrey Show. Absolutely.
That means a lot.
I would.
That means a lot.
I would.
That means a lot. And I'm going to catch you guys later on another exciting edition of Jeffrey Show Live.